The next morning brings what can only be described as the most surreal experience of Kai's 17 years of life. Nothing could have prepared him for what awaits at the school gates. Hanasato from the art club practically materializes from behind a tree, holding what looks like a professionally wrapped bento box. She approaches softly, her cheeks pink with either makeup or embarrassment, offering him lunch and mentioning how stressed he's looked lately. Before Kai can process this development, Mei Tanaka appears from the direction of the student council room, looking determined and carrying a folder thick with official-looking documents. She presents a proposal for his involvement in the Cultural Festival Planning Committee, claiming the compensation will be quite attractive, more substantial than what she dismissively calls amateur cooking experiments. Hana's quiet demeanor evaporates instantly at the insult. She defends her culinary classes and training since middle school, her voice rising with indignation. A third voice interrupts, smooth and confident. Rika Hayashi, who Kai has always thought was completely out of his league, approaches with the kind of casual elegance that suggests she owns the entire school. Her long blonde hair flows like silk behind her as she moves, and she chides the other girls for overwhelming him and requests to walk with him to class, promising something much more interesting to discuss. Kai stands frozen in the middle of this bizarre standoff, clutching his school bag and wondering if he's somehow fallen into an alternate dimension. Three girls who have never shown the slightest interest in him before now compete for his attention like he's the last slice of cake at a birthday party. A familiar voice behind him observes that he seems to have developed quite the fan club overnight. Everyone turns to see Akira approaching, looking perfectly put together and slightly amused by the scene unfolding before her. Unlike the other girls, she doesn't seem to be competing for anything. She just observes with those sharp golden eyes, taking in every detail. Rika addresses Akira with carefully neutral tones, noting how convenient her arrival is as they discuss Kai's suddenly busy social calendar. Akira's smile doesn't waver as she mentions that she and Kai have plans to continue their project work after school, seeking his confirmation. Kai nods automatically, still trying to understand how his life became a romantic comedy overnight. He confirms their project plans while Mei asks suspiciously about the nature of this work. Akira smoothly describes it as academic optimization strategies, very intensive and time-consuming. Hana holds out her bento box more insistently, explaining that she made his favorite foods. When Kai asks how she knows his preferences, her blush deepens as she admits she pays attention to such things. This revelation makes everyone look at the quiet art student with new interest, including Akira, whose expression sharpens slightly. She comments on Hana's observational skills, suggesting she notices things others miss. Something in her tone makes Hana take a small step backward, and Kai gets the distinct impression he's missing several layers of conversation happening above his head. The bell saves him from navigating this social minefield any further. As they all head toward class, Kai finds himself walking next to Akira while the other three girls trail behind in what can only be described as a formation. He mutters to Akira about the insanity of the situation. Yesterday none of them knew he existed, and today they're acting like he's some kind of prize to be won. Akira finds the timing interesting, though her tone suggests fascination rather than surprise. When she asks what he thinks has changed, Kai considers the question carefully. The only significant difference he can identify is meeting Akira yesterday, but that doesn't make sense unless seeing him with the new transfer student somehow made him seem more interesting. Akira nods approvingly at his analysis of the social proof phenomenon. When one person shows interest in something, others begin to see previously missed value. When Kai asks if this is all because they saw them together yesterday, Akira agrees it's partially responsible, though she suspects there might be more to it than that. They reach their classroom before Kai can ask what she means, where the drama continues in subtler but no less intense ways. Hana has somehow managed to relocate her seat closer to his desk. Mei keeps finding excuses to walk past and drop off various student council-related papers that definitely don't require his input. Even Rika, who belonged to a different class entirely, had begun showing up near his classroom during breaks. During lunch, the situation reaches peak absurdity when all four girls somehow end up at his usual table. Taro, who has been watching this development with the fascination of someone witnessing a nature documentary, finally whispers to Kai, asking what he did to cause this change, whether he suddenly became rich, famous, or developed superpowers. Kai honestly has no idea. The lunch conversation becomes a masterclass in passive-aggressive politeness. Hana insists he try her homemade cooking while emphasizing the time and care she invested. Mei discusses the cultural festival with details suggesting she's planned their entire future together. Rika casually mentions parties and social events he's never been invited to before, as if his attendance is now simply expected. Through it all, Akira watches with the serene confidence of someone holding all the cards. She participates minimally in the conversation, but whenever she speaks, everyone else falls silent to listen. During a brief lull in the competitive chatter, she mentions how Kai told her about his impressive dedication to long-term projects, 3 years of consistent effort toward a single goal. She notes that such persistence is quite attractive. The other girls murmur agreement, though Kai notices they're looking at Akira as much as they're looking at him. Something about her presence seems to amplify whatever effect she's describing. After school, as promised, Kai meets Akira for their second gacha strategy session. This time, they go to a different cafe, one that's more upscale and definitely more expensive than anywhere Kai would normally hang out. Akira insists on treating when he hesitates at the menu prices. As they settle into their booth, Kai finally works up the courage to address the elephant in the room. He has to ask about this whole situation with everyone suddenly being interested in him. It's not normal, right? He hasn't changed. He's still the same guy who spent his weekend grinding event stages and eating convenience store ramen. Akira studies him over her coffee cup, those golden eyes unreadable, asking what he thinks has changed. Kai admits honestly that it's her. She showed up and suddenly everyone's acting like he's worth their time. It's like she has some kind of influence. Akira finds his word choice of influence interesting, then asks what he would think if she told him that sometimes people just need permission to notice what was always there. Kai responds that it sounds like something a character in a dating sim would say right before the big plot twist. Akira laughs, and for a moment, her mysterious composure cracks enough to show genuine amusement. She tells him he's more perceptive than he gives himself credit for. When Kai asks what that's supposed to mean, his phone starts buzzing with the now familiar barrage of messages before she can answer. Invitations to study together, offers of homemade snacks, casual questions about his weekend plans flow in. It's like he's suddenly become the most popular person in school, and it's both flattering and deeply confusing. He scrolls through the notifications, telling Akira that this is getting out of hand. He doesn't know how to handle this much attention. She responds with confidence that he'll figure it out, that he's stronger than he thinks. As they work on his gacha account, which is progressing at an almost supernatural rate thanks to her guidance, Kai can't shake the feeling that there are layers to this situation he's not seeing. Akira's advice is too good, her timing too perfect, her influence over his sudden popularity too coincidental. But every time he's about to voice his suspicions, she does something that makes him forget his doubts. A casual touch on his hand when explaining a strategy, a smile that seems meant just for him, a comment suggesting she sees something in him that no one else has noticed. By the time they part ways that evening, Kai is more confused than ever. He's getting everything he thought he wanted: attention from girls, rapid progress in his favorite game, and the friendship of someone as interesting as Akira. So why does it all feel like he's missing something important? The answer, he suspects, has something to do with the way Akira's eyes seem to hold secrets, and the way she never quite answers his direct questions. But with his phone buzzing with another round of messages from his newfound admirers, Kai decides that some mysteries might be worth leaving unsolved, at least for now.